Hey everyone, I'm Reza. I'm currently a student at UVA majoring in computer science and English. And today I will be interviewing Matt Anderson. Matt is an architectural designer, and he's also a member of the NAHB. NAHB, correct me if I'm wrong, stands for the National Association of Home Builders, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. So hey Matt, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well. And my first question for you is what initially drew you to this career path?
I'd have to say my dad, being involved from very young in the construction industry, working on different buildings. That's really what got me started into it. And then transitioning through high school and kind of boiling down what I wanted to do, I chose to go into architecture. So that's why I got into it, was my dad being in the construction industry and then going through that. So
Very cool. Okay. Did you know kind of already in high school that you were going to go into architecture?
no, it was just like all of you that might be watching this. You're going through your younger years. You don't know what everybody's saying. You got to go to college. You got to figure out what you're gonna do. And I was able to boil it down to what I was passionate about, and like woodworking, building something, and then seeing the result is such a amazing thing that you get to take place in, and especially in architecture, you get to physically design the world that we live in. So it's a really beautiful profession to be a part of.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Yeah. Would you say in high school were there any courses, or maybe in college were there any courses that you found to be really important towards your career path, or that are really applicable for your occupation?
Well, I was fortunate enough at our high school, we had a computer animated drafting class, and then wood shops, building construction. And then in my senior year, there was a program that we could do. You could do an internship at a business in town, and I was able to do an internship at an architecture firm in my hometown. So the second half of my day of senior year was spent at an architecture firm and learning from the people that are in the industry in my hometown. So that
Wow, Matt, yeah, that's so cool. Wow, that seems so. You would say that that's the main internship that kind of helped you prepare for the career?
absolutely. There I would say well, that and then working in the profession of construction too, like getting to know construction details and knowing how to put stuff together is a critical component to a precursor to going into a field like this, I would say.
Okay,
So,
very cool. And when were you working construction?
uh, since I was, I don't know, 14 years old.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a really long time. Okay,
Mhm.
so I can see there's a really big backdrop to kind of your path towards architecture. Very cool. Um, did you engage with NAHB as a student, um, or are you engaging now with it as a professional, and how kind of has it impacted
Yeah,
you?
I jumped on the board for our local HBA in Marquette, Michigan, and my dad's always been associated with it since before I was born. So it that's how I've been associated with it, is getting to know everybody in the field that he's around, and then just going from there.
Okay. How would you say that the National Association of Home Builders has impacted your success?
Meeting a lot of mentors along the way, and
Okay.
people that were able to help me out, kind of push me in the right direction, and then get to where I'm at now. So,
Yeah, it sounds like a really good networking resource.
mm, yeah, I would say that that's the best things for networking and just getting to know everybody, because it's a small world that we live in, and
Hmm.
it you can learn a lot from people who've been doing it for a long time. So I'd
Yeah.
make those connections really and really emphasize what you can capitalize, what you can get out of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Can you describe kind of what your typical workday entails and what you do day to day?
There is so much to it. Starting from scratch, from a blank plate or a blank slate on a site plan and just figuring out what the context is of your surroundings, and then devising a solution to the problem of whatever your program of that building might be. And just coming up with, because that building is going to be there for a long time. So you need to be very obsessed with implementing the correct solution the first go around, because there's no take two in this business, you know?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any things that maybe people wouldn't expect that you do at your work?
I don't know. I would say that you wouldn't expect to, well, this might be a generalization for all jobs, but you got to become very passionate about what you're doing. And if you want to rise to the top or be very proficient at doing great things, you have to be putting in way longer than 40-hour work weeks to be in this profession to get it done. So that, I'd say that is one thing that you wouldn't expect, but
a lot of determination. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. Okay. Do you have any words of wisdom for someone who might be considering being an architect?
Well, going through the process of becoming an architect, you have to have a license. And most of the states, there's only a couple that don't require a license or a degree from an accredited school. So when you're going to do your architecture school, and the main goal is to obtain your architectural license so you can become a licensed architect. And one thing that helped me was I was able to find a school that wasn't as big, not as like I don't know, where you break the bank on. And I was able to get a graduate assistant position that was able to cover the costs of doing that degree. So I would recommend, if you're going into this, try to find those ways where you can reduce the load of how much this is going to cost in the end. So, and because a lot of people are struggling with that right now. Student debt isn't a joke. So
yeah,
it was very beneficial to find a school where I was able to just work really hard, find a graduate assistant position that paid for my tuition to go to that school. And then they pay a little on the side too for your day-to-day expenses. And then stay passionate, and you got to become furiously obsessed with what you're trying to do in this profession. So
yeah, that sounds awesome. Are there any like projects right now that you're really excited about that you're working on? Are you allowed to say?
This one behind me is we're renovating one of the oldest buildings in my hometown into doing a huge addition in the back with it's going to be absolutely beautiful, of a hotel, apartments, mixed use restaurants and whatnot. And then will really consolidate a lot of the activity into the downtown and just really grow. And that's, being able to build up your hometown is so beautiful. It's nothing better.
Yeah, that looks awesome. It looks like there's like 3D models. Am I right about that? Are you using CAD?
And I use Revit all day, every day, and then 3D model every little intricacy of the building, and down to the rivets and the trestle, like old school railroad bridge style. And just, so yeah, that's just one example, but
that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know if this is like tangentially related, but I've done a little bit of 3D modeling because I used to work just like in my free time. I used to make like video games with my friends. So having that same skill set and like taking it to the real world seems fascinating to me, because you know, it's like they're designing levels in the real world. I don't know.
I'm just a professional Minecraft player.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely had quite a few Minecraft architecture projects. That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you for your wise words. Hopefully you all learned a little bit about the NAHB. Thank you for joining us. If you want more information, please visit the NAHB Q Career page and find out how NAHB can help you with your career development. Until next time, have a good week. Goodbye.